What is up, beautiful people? This is the video you've been all waiting for. A full smackdown between NIO, Tesla, XPENG, and Li Auto. Now you're gonna want to watch to the end because you want to get the full picture of what makes each of them unique in its own sector and what makes them special. Alright? I've had the pleasure of visiting a XPENG store, also a Li Auto store, Tesla stores obviously. Alright, we're gonna talk about Tesla. Tesla, as we know, has the best autopilot. Alright, it's the fastest acceleration. They're the well-known brand. Everybody knows about Tesla, and let's put Tesla right up there. Alright, now where does NIO come in? NIO, some advantages that NIO has over these other guys is that we have the battery swap. Alright, battery swap. Battery swap isn't just about switching a battery to get a full charge. Alright, that's less important, because what's more important is the ability to upgrade your battery easily. Alright, you have a 100 kilowatt hour battery, you can upgrade it to a 200 kilowatt hour battery when that comes out. Alright, upgradability and removing battery degradation, because with all these EV companies with batteries will degrade. With battery swap, you don't have to worry about degradation anymore. You can swap to a healthier battery, and NIO takes care of the battery if it degrades too much. Alright, so you don't have to worry about that. Another pro of NIO is we got these NIO houses, which is good luxury lounge for NIO customers to rest in. And we're gonna leave it at that. Alright, we're gonna talk a bit more about NIO later on. There's one more thing that I really want to talk about with NIO is there's one click to charge, where if you're, for example, if you're stranded on the road or something, your battery's running low, there's inside the NIO app, there's this service, and it's available to all EVs, not just NIO. One tap to charge, you just enter in your location, and there will be this NIO truck, this NIO van that comes over and charges your car. So that's pretty nice. So let's talk a bit about XPENG. Alright, now where does XPENG stand? First of all, XPENG is backed by Alibaba. NIO is backed by Tencent. XPENG is backed by Alibaba. What XPENG really does really well that just blew me away was their Alipay widget integration, which is something that NIO doesn't have, that Tesla doesn't have. Alright, so inside the car, you have Alipay integrated, and you have these widgets where, for example, you can order a pizza. Alright, you can order a pizza. You can book a movie ticket. Right, you can order coffee. You can reserve a restaurant location. So you got all these widgets, and these widgets, there's infinite possibility with what you can do with these widgets. You just need these developers to come up with different widgets to and use it in XPENG's car. So that was something that really blew me away, that these other guys, NIO, Tesla, that they weren't doing. Now, some other good advantages with XPENG is that they have the best voice assistant. In my opinion, it's even better than NIO. Tesla, well, of course, Tesla doesn't really have a voice assistant. XPENG has the best implementation of voice assistant. And how does it work? All right, let me give you an example. With NIO's car, when you say something, the voice assistant interprets what you mean. For example, if I say I like Kung Fu, right? The NIO's voice assistant might think, hey, you wanna go and practice Kung Fu or something like that. But what XPENG system does is it gives you several options. For example, the first option might be, do you want to watch a movie called Kung Fu? Or do you want to go to the restaurant called Kung Fu? Or do you want to go practice Kung Fu? Right? So it gives you three options, and then you can tell XPENG, hey, 小朋, and tell them 第三个, or like the third option, and so what XPENG does really well is it gives you the option to have different interpretations of what you command. All right, so that was really something that that just blew me away. They have, this is in my opinion actually a bit better than NIO's version of voice assistant. And XPENG, one good advantage with XPENG is that they have the cheapest. Out of all these EV makers, they are the cheapest. All right, they're the most affordable in the sense that I see P7 as a real Model 3 killer. All right, because NIO's they make SUVs for now. So I see XPENG's P7 as a real Model 3 killer. And in that sense, a lot of people, they will compare the Model 3 to XPENG's P7, and they would see that, wow, the things that the P7 can do is just amazing. All right. Now, where does XPENG come in terms of swapping, battery swapping? Now, in terms of battery swapping, they can't do swaps. Just straight off the bat, because the XPENG P7 and the G3 have different battery sizes. So it'll be impossible for them to do swaps and implement swap stations. Unlike NIO, where with NIO, all NIO cars have the same battery size. So that's why NIO will always have a long wheelbase. NIO won't make a compact car. I can tell you that. So every single NIO car can go to any one of the swap stations and get swapped. So XPENG, you can't do swaps. So that's the downside of XPENG. Li Auto. Now let's move into Li Auto. Li Auto is kind of interesting because it's not really a traditional electric car. All right, it's a hybrid. Wow, hybrid. But it's not like a Lexus hybrid. All right, it's a hybrid in the sense that you have the main drivetrain is all electric, and then you have a gas tank and an engine that doesn't actually power the wheel. The engine is more like a generator. So if you run out of electricity, your battery's out, what happens is the engine starts kicking in to generate electricity for the batteries, for the motors. So that's how they implemented this hybrid system. And what that really does is Li Auto has branded themselves as a EV car that doesn't have limits. Right? Because with most EV cars, you're limited by the charging infrastructure. If you want to go to a desert with an EV car, you probably wouldn't want to do that because you can't. There's no charging infrastructure in the desert. But with Li Auto, they branded themselves as, hey, we can go to the desert because we got this backup fuel tank. So you don't have to worry about running out of juice. So that's really, really nice. And every single operating system on the car, for example, of Tesla, what can happen is the system might shut down. All right, the system might shut down, for example, in a Tesla, and then your screen goes black. You can't see the speed. You can't see anything. That's pretty dangerous. All right. Same with NIO. Same with XPENG. They have this one computer. Right. With Li Auto, they have two computers. So if one shuts down, it's actually you got a backup that takes over. So you don't have to worry about, hey, I can't see my speed anymore. My car's computer isn't working. So in that sense, plus what I've talked about how Li Auto is a hybrid, they've really branded themselves as the safer option when you want to choose EV car. Right? You want to choose EV car, but you're not willing to go all the way to embrace EV all the way. So what you do, you choose Li Auto. Now, one of the downside with Li Auto is that it does take gas, so it's not a full EV. And when you're getting your license plate, especially here in China, there's EV license plate and then there's the regular vehicle license plate. With Li Auto, you got to go with the regular vehicle license plate, which is harder to get, and yeah, you got more restrictions on that. So where does Li Auto come in terms of swapping? Now, I've seen Li Auto's skateboard chassis in person, and it seems to me that they can do swaps. All right, they can do swapping because the battery can be removed from underneath the car. But it appeared to me that they don't want to do swaps because the cost of implementing that is too high. So Li Auto, they can do swaps but won't do it. So I'm not sure if they're going to put that out there in the future, but that's just something to consider. One of the things with Li Auto is that the design of the Li Auto, it looks very more boxy. It looks more like a traditional SUV in the sense when you compare it to like XPENG or NIO or Tesla. Li Auto is actually more appealing to those older car buyers. For example, those that are maybe age 30 and above that want to, you know, have more reliability focused, you know. That's where I see all these 4 different car brands. In terms of pricing, Li Auto and Tesla and NIO, they're neck and neck. They're around 500k RMB, 400k RMB to 500k RMB. They're neck and neck. Whereas XPENG, they've really gone down all the way to like 250k upwards to 300k plus. So if you see it from that perspective, if you're looking for the best value, you might go for XPENG because it's cheaper. Now, where do I rank it, man? You know, it's very hard because it comes down to how much you're willing to spend for how much you're willing to spend for a vehicle. Now, would I personally get the Model 3 or Model Y? No, I would not, because NIO's SUV is just clearly that much better. So my first choice would obviously be NIO, all right? Because NIO, their battery swap, even though like I personally might not go swap all the time, but the ability to upgrade your battery and remove battery degradation is just a big plus for me. Second, I would have to choose Tesla, because Tesla, they've really cemented themselves as the #1 EV maker in the whole world, right? They're the pioneers, they're the first guys to do it, and their autopilot is just really good. Personally, I wouldn't buy the Model Y or Model 3. If I'm on a budget, I wouldn't put Tesla as my second place. But I would go for the Model X. I've said it in my numerous other videos, I really liked the Model X. It's just a car that I just, wow. Price wasn't a factor. It'd be a hard choice between the ES8 and the Model X. Third is really hard, man. It's just so hard, man. Man, these car companies are all so good, man. They're all so good. You gotta understand me, man. It's not like I'm putting hate on one of these companies. It's just they're so damn good. Is my #3 pick, because really they're the way of implementation of how they built this car, that they're a car with no limits, you know. Really just that amazes me a lot. You know, if you want a traditional EV but without limits, you go for Li Auto. And if you live in a tier 3 or tier 4 city where the charging infrastructure isn't as good, you really want Li Auto, because you're gonna be less stressed out with range anxiety. So that's where I put Li Auto. I put Li Auto as #3, XPENG at #4, because XPENG really, they marketed themselves more as a affordable electric vehicle, and one that, you know, can be bought by the masses, that everybody can afford. Whereas NIO, I see NIO more as a luxury car company, because NIO's average selling price is actually a lot higher than XPENG's. I put XPENG at #4, even though I'd say XPENG is a great car, man. But when you put it up against all these other guys, XPENG is a great car, but it still comes in #4. So XPENG is not a bad car, all right? It's a good car. Now, how many of these do I see on the road? I'm gonna start off with Tesla, right? You see Teslas all over the place. There's a lot of Teslas, especially Model 3s, because it's so affordable. You see Model 3s right behind the Model 3 sometimes. So you do see that a lot, Model 3s, that's nice. Now, what about Li Auto? Now, I do see Li Auto from time to time, and actually in my at my dad's place, there was actually this one baller dude that had 2 Li Autos. He had a blue one and he had a black one, like parked right next to each other in his house. So that was mind blowing. And XPENG, well, XPENG, you see XPENG readily, but not as common. I do see XPENG. I see a lot of their I see G3s a lot, and P7s. I do see it from time to time. They look great. P7s look great. I saw the skin P7. That had this matte black skin on it. Looked really nice. NIO, I definitely see NIO a lot. There's like NIOs everywhere, man. Like I see it like on the road, like while I'm taking while I'm on the bus, because I don't have my NIO. My NIO's not here yet. So I see NIO while I'm on the bus. I'm like, oh man, come on, man, you're driving. Come on, man. I want to be in that car, man. So you see NIOs on the road a lot, and recently, like even at my dad's new place, there's a lot of NIOs in the basement, you know, in the parking lot. There's one time where I saw a NIO ES6 right next to EC6. Man, so that was pretty nice. So you do see NIOs a lot. How the EV market share will go, I think that still a lot of people don't know about NIO, all right? Even though NIOs are everywhere, everyone knows about Tesla. All right, I'm gonna put that straight out there. Everyone knows about Tesla. Not that many people know about NIO, but once they start comparing Tesla to NIO, it becomes pretty clear that, you know, NIO is the more affordable car, because at 500k RMB for a loaded out Model 3, and then you compare that to a NIO EC6 or NIO ES6, man, it becomes pretty clear that, you know, people will go for the NIO vehicle with all the perks and you know, with the new houses and all that kind of stuff. XPENG, people compare the Model 3 to XPENG. I mean, XPENG is more bang for the buck buy, but some people have this whole brand ideology that, you know, brand comes first before the vehicle. For example, not many people buy a Volkswagen, you know, spec'd out Volkswagen that's like super expensive, because the brand Volkswagen doesn't carry as much weight as like BMW or Daimler, Mercedes. Really, the brand means everything right now, and NIO has really cemented themselves as sort of the Apple of China. NIO is really up there, all right? XPENG, NIO is really up there, followed by Li Auto, followed by XPENG, if you're gonna rank the brand value. That's all I wanted to share, man. I hope this video was useful for you guys. Please subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, share it with your friends, leave a comment down below. What do you think about this whole thing? Which vehicle would you buy? Yeah, have a good one, man. Peace out.